Good morning, VC. It's a rainy Sunday morning here in Somerset, so I thought I would do a response to James Griffiths, there he is, YouTube channel, Hunting X Through the Wild, and he did a piece a couple of days ago on Graham Parker, of Graham Parker and the Rumour fame, and it's funny because I found a couple of Graham Parkers in the wild the other day and sort of embellished my collection, of which I had one before, so I found 3 new ones and bought them, and then James, having done this, it was quite interesting to see someone else had similar interests. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in 1978 I bought an EP by Graham Parker and the Rumour, and it had Hold Back the Night on it, a great version, and I bought this album, which is to date still my favourite Graham Parker album. It's called The Parkerilla. It's a live double, and of course 78 was just came out to post-punk, and I got this album, and it's got on side 4, it's on the Great Spaceship label, on side 4 it's got a fantastic song which I used to play all the time, Hey Lord, Don't Ask Me Questions. Really, really good song. And I got into him and went to see him in that same year up in Camden. So, amazing gig. A bit of a mix between Elvis Costello and Springsteen, really. But this is a great album and I can't recommend it enough. But the other day I found some more, and I have heard tracks from these because they're on that live album, but I haven't really had any other Graham Parker until now. So the first one I found was, let me just look at the dates on here, is Howling Wind, which is 1976. This looks like I think it's a Mercury, isn't it? Yeah, it's a Mercury US pressing, and has Lady Doctor and Soul Shoes and Howling Wind, which are all on that Parkerilla album, and it's on that Mercury label. Great album, can't recommend it enough. His first album and a good start. Next up, that same year, Heat Treatment, which is to my mind a lot more commercial, but I really like this album. Let's see who's on this, because there's a couple of people on here who went on to do other things. Interestingly, it was mixed at Trident Studios 2 years before I got there, so pretty interesting. This has a great track on it called Heat Treatment, which is on the live Parkerilla albums again, and Fool's Gold, 2 of the standout tracks. This isn't the one who I thought had Brinsley Schwartz on it. No, Brinsley Schwartz was on that album and he's not on this one. So I can only think he must have moved on, playing with Nick Lowe. This was produced by Mutt Lange and Nick Lowe, this one. It's a cutout and it's got a really good inner bag with advertising other bands on it. So once again another US copy, and these must have been bought into the record store by the same person, because obviously there was a batch of these, they'd all come in together, probably an American or worked over there, because they're on that Mercury label. So another great album. And then one I hadn't heard of before, and I was in 2 minds whether to buy this. This came out in, hold on, let's have a look. Can't really remember. I think it was 1980. And this is The Up Escalator. So yeah, 1980. It's on, what is it on? It's on Stiff Records, and it's got a courtesy label. And the interesting thing about this is Endless Night has Springsteen on backing vocals. So not surprising, they're similar vocal, both of them. and I think this was made in the States, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sterling Sound, Jimmy Iovine. So it has a much more sort of commercial feel to it. I really like the cover. Make of that what you will. I can't sort of work out what it is, but I don't know any of the tracks on this, and from previous years. Nothing really too big on this one, but a great album nonetheless. So that's my response to James's recent YouTube video that he put up about hunting X in the wild. I'll be looking out for more Graham Parker albums to complete my collection as well. Over and out.